Hi guys, welcome back to our Texas homestead. I've been wanting some butter horns my great aunt used to make when I was growing up. Probably haven't had them in like 20 years, but I came across an old cookbook that I had with a bunch of family recipes, so I decided to try them. The recipe or the directions are a little vague, so we're gonna see how it turns out. So right now on the stove I got a cup of milk and a cup of butter, and it says to scald it, which I've never done that, so I just kind of brought it up to a boil. I assume that would be about right. I don't know. And then it says to add in half a cup of sugar and a pinch of salt. And then you're going to add in 2 packages of yeast. But my grandma has a different recipe down below. And she says to scald the milk, and then she says let it come back down to lukewarm before you add the yeast. So I think I'm going to do that to make sure I don't mess up the yeast. So I'll bring you back when this cools off a little bit to add in the yeast, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the milk, it's milk, butter, sugar, and salt has cooled down. So I'm going to add in 2 packages of yeast. Oops. And she doesn't say if it's like fast acting yeast or regular yeast, so I just have regular, I think. So we're going to stir this up and then let it sit for 10 minutes, which is supposed to make it active. It should get like bubbly. But let me get a whisk to get all these clumps out. Okay, so we'll be back in 10 minutes to see if it looks like it did anything. Okay, so I think the yeast got activated. It's like kind of bubbly. So I'm going to pour it in the mixer. Let's see what happens. So these turn out kind of like croissants, but then they have like a powdered sugar glaze on them. So they're sweet. So you're going to add 2 eggs. And our chickens aren't wanting to lay a lot of eggs because it's so hot, so we had to go buy some. But they're still laying some. And then you're going to add 4 cups of flour, but I have a half cup from the sugar, so I'm going to add 8 scoops of flour. And I got the dough hook on there, so guess that's good enough. So now I'm going to get a clean towel, and that's what it ended up looking like. I'm going to get a clean towel, and we're going to let it rise. So I'm just going to cover it with the towel and then let it sit here for like an hour or so, and I'll bring y'all back then. Okay, so it's been more like 2 hours, but it's rose quite a bit. So I got a cutting board, floured, and we're gonna roll it out. Well, actually no. First it says to divide it into 4 parts. So get it in a little bit of a ball, I guess. And then cut it in half and cut it in half again. Okay, so now this one I'm gonna roll out. And she says, roll it out and cut it into 8 pieces like a pie. But she didn't say how thin to roll it out, so I'm gonna say that's good enough. It's maybe like a 1/4 of an inch thick, and you're gonna put butter on it. Let me find my pizza cutter. So, 8 pieces. Might be more than 8. And then she said roll it up from the outside in. So they're gonna look like little croissants, kinda. And that one's a little big. And I'm putting them on a cookie sheet with some parchment paper. So when I get all these done, then you're gonna let them rise again, and then bake them in a 400-degree oven for 8 minutes. So I'm gonna get the other 3 sections rolled out, let them rise, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so it's been like an hour. Not really sure how much they've rose again, but I'm gonna go ahead and bake them. So they're going in the oven at 400 degrees for 8 minutes. I'll bring you back when I take them out. So I got the butter horns out of the oven. I'm gonna make the powdered sugar like glaze. So I got a cup of powdered sugar, a tablespoon of butter, And then we're going to add just a little bit of hot water. Hopefully I didn't add too much. Let it go. Look, it's maybe a little runnier, but it'll, you know, thicken up, dry up on the butterhorns. So it was maybe like 2 tablespoons of water that I put on there. So, and then we're just gonna spoon some on top of each one. Got one with no frosting, but that'll be alright. Maybe we can scoop some of this up. Maybe not. So, find just a little one. See how it tastes. Tastes just like Aunt Blanche's butterhorns. So, hope you try them. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you next time. Bye.